I need to flesh out the pod to say, that's how you do it. Or actually, when I go back, I'll just give them this talk and say, this is how you do it. But, so it's borderline alpha beta at the moment, I think, as far as finalising everything goes. Generally, still stuck with a couple of the early decisions from the prototype. Once we started talking properly to the Java side, they didn't really want their messages polluted with that type because they're used to using the JMS type header in ActiveMQ messages. So we're starting to move towards that more. That means that our actual messages are the data we care about, and how it's being dealt with is hidden away. Not sure how that's going to go yet. We weren't planning on sharing the kind of the validation specifications. For some reason at the moment it's in the consumer namespace only. Lack of time, I guess. Which means it's not so easily used. It's not automatically used by the producer classes. You can't say, yes, please validate me. I suppose you could do it manually, but that's not the point of the whole package. And as I discovered when I was writing this and writing my own examples and making sure they worked, the original implementation had different function names for things, and they were getting silently ignored because they're not compulsory anymore. So there's niggles along the way. Consumers, this is just probably my lack of Catalyst knowledge, but because you're using the net ActiveMQ consumer, it automatically looks for net ActiveMQ controller blah, and I've not investigated if it's possible to say actually my controllers live over here. Still working on the error handling. At the moment it checks at the end of the cycle for general errors and then tries to insert them into another queue. So then you've got an error queue of messages that you can go back or you can make someone else look at, and it fills the logs for you. We've had some problems with that recently, just because I'm making mistakes again. But I think it's there, and I'm sure when Charlie goes back to work next week, he'll have lots of feedback for me. Basically, the moral of the story is try not to write directly into other people's databases. You get tied down for 10 years now, I think, roughly. We've been doing that, and it's held a lot of good development up. Message queues are shiny. If you're talking to yourself, you can get away with the Schwartz. If you think you might ever talk to anyone else, then ActiveMQ is quite nice. Don't repeat yourself. I'm trying to do it so my team doesn't have to, and it'd be quite nice if I could let it out to the wild so that everyone else doesn't have to. Which brings me on to the future. It's still going through the last few stages of sanity checking and evolution, so it's almost ready, but not quite. But we're using it in production because that's the kind of guys we are. It's a good way of fleshing out the bugs is by using it in a big life system. We are planning to release it to the CPAN. That was the plan from when I first sat down and started typing on this. Pod, documentation, things like that are missing. A few internal loose ends to tie up, but hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks I'll be allowed to scare the rest of the world with the code. Hopefully there's no questions, because most of us we don't know. But are there any questions?
What you actually serialise the messages out over the wire? so your examples were showing kind of hashes.
Yeah.
How do you serialise the actual messages?
Everything I think is automatically serialised to JSON. It's just the nicest we've found. XML is just meh. And yeah, the Java guys can actually deal with JSON as well. And as the two teams have moved on, we've both gone, XML's just big and horrible to read. So we've managed to convince everyone that JSON is actually quite nice.
Any problems you ran into migrating over to the MQ stuff?
The problems that we found are, they kind of They tend to be network-related edge cases as far as we can tell. We've not hit any kind of big problems inside the application itself, but we are seeing sometimes one end of the connection seems to go into a black hole, and it doesn't reconnect properly, or it still thinks it's connected. We're fleshing those out, we're dealing with them as we come across them. We're almost there. We found another one this week, but I think that was resolved. So it's mostly kind of at the net stomp level, where we're just throwing more at it, or maybe our network is harsh and just, oh, you've sent too much rubbish, QoS, fine. But generally, no, moving across, I mean, the team seems to have just picked it up and quite happily started spewing out messages. So,
Sure.
Just to say, it works quite well, but when you get really deep queues, academic queue isn't that happy with it. As if you want a queue that's 2 million deep, messages deep, it doesn't work so good. My other actual question was, can we do anything in Catalyst Engine Stomp to make it happier?
I was actually looking at forking that on GitHub because I just wanted to work out. I need to access the headers in the consumer for the JMS type, but I was going to do that and then.
Yeah.
One thing you could do, there seems to be 2 Catalyst Engine Stomp projects on GitHub. Maybe the 2 can talk to each other, so I know which one is the right one to use.
I think well, the one that's got the C-Plan namespace.
Yeah, it was you, and then one of our guys forked from you, and then there's another one which looks like it's the recent one, which caused a bit of head scratching.
Okay.
That's no, yeah. I've been quite lucky because I've had Ash, so I've not had to ask too many questions because he's just there. Who else? Cool. Any silly questions? Quite easily Googleable, so fingers crossed. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.